Hey y'all, it's your girl Jada J. So as you can see, the stylist got it a little bit better this week, but not really. So I ended up having to fire that stylist and bring in another one. As I said last week, if I have 18 million views and I don't look my best for my viewers, what are they being paid for? Can we all agree on that? What are they being paid for? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, how y'all doing tonight? I'm sure everybody looked nice tonight. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Because this Tyler's getting better and better every week. And this episode definitely there was a lot going on. There was a lot of scenes tonight. A lot of dialogue in some of the scenes. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. So what are we wasting our time talking for? Let's get into it. Okay, well, we're gonna talk, obviously, but anyway. Let's move right on in. Okay, that's not how I wanted to start it, but we just go. Anyway, so we opened up with Brad. Remember last week, Brad ran up on Marcy and was choking her because she asked him, "What's with that red mud under your boots when Bandon Mountain's mud is brown?" And he came up on her and he choked her. Okay, choking her out. So Marcy, what does she do as a sister? Know what I'm saying? She's Costa Rican. So she's a sister. She grabbed the bottle and was like, and just hit him right upside the head. Just, you know what I'm saying? The bottle broke. I said, come on now. Come on. So he was all bloody and stuff. He was like, oh, what the heck? He was like, well, what in the heck did you do that for? He all holding the side of his. I'm sorry, y'all. That's not even funny. So it is because I don't know what's going on with Brad. So as of now, he is the suspect and I'm over him. As of now. I still rock with Brad, but right now, you don't put your hands on a sister. You just don't do that. So, he was like, what the heck did you do? She was like, why did you just try and grab me? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, Marcy, have you lost your mind? Like, I'm bleeding. And then she puts the bottle aside and, like, picks up a knife. So now she's got him at knife point. Okay, knife, not gun, forget about gun point. It's knife point. That is in now. Forget gun. Who's doing guns anymore? No, it's gun. Forget about the guns. We're at knife point now. We have whole motherfuckers at knife point. So she got Brad at knife point, and he is shaking his. He was like, Marcy, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was like, you must be going crazy. Like, have you lost your mind? Like, he's like, oh, Marcy, this is bad. You know. Oh yeah. Remember, it's this side. Not. He was like, oh, Marcy, it's bad. Like, I'm bleeding. She was like, I'm leaving up out of here. She was like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And she was like, how you gonna try to ask me, have I gone crazy? Nah, Brad, what's going on with you? And so he's not answering any questions. He's just stuck on the fact that she hit him in the head with a bottle. Oh, I'm bleeding. Get over it. We all get hit in the head with a bottle once or twice. Okay, not really. But I was just, when he was doing all that, I said, get over it. I'm over it. Me. Okay, so just, anyway, so she got him at knife point the whole time, and she gets out of the apartment. He's like, Marcy, what are you doing? He's like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, tell me what the heck's going on. She's up out of there, all right? So he is now grabbing a napkin, and he's like, and he screams. I was over it, okay? Then how you gonna ask her, why would you try it? Why did you hit me? If somebody come up behind you choking you, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You gonna try and ask me when I hit you in there with a... I'm sorry, y'all. Either somebody gave me a cold, or I'm in really intense allergies right now, because this is usually when my allergies get pretty bad. But people keep telling me it sounds like I got a cold, so somebody gave me a cold. I'm gonna find out who it was, and I'm over them. Okay? I'm so susceptible to colds. Like, somebody could just be talking about it, I swear, like a day after I get a cold. Like, it just happens. I'll be like, don't even talk about it, because I don't want it. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, y'all. So then we switch to the hospital. Natalie is on another planet, you know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't be? Your son just got shot. So, Lucian is, like, wiping off her hands. I guess she still had, some of the blood on her hands. So Lucian, being the man that he is, you know what I'm saying? Black lover. I love this. I love the scenes with them tonight. It was just wonderful, as I always do. It's black love at its finest. That's a real man. That's what a real man looks like. That's how he moves. That's how he grooves. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, So yeah, Lucian, he's like, all right, I'm gonna get you something from the nurse because he knows that she's really high up. So I think he wants to go get her like a Valium or something. So he's he's got a moist towelette and he's just wiping her hands down. And so he's like, I'm gonna be right back, all right. So as he's about to go talk to the nurse, Esperanza comes in. She's distraught and in crisis, and she's crying. She's like, oh my god, like Lucian. She's like, what happened? Is he okay? And so Lucian is telling her like, we don't know nothing. Like we really don't have any information. They said they're working on him. They're trying to get him stabilized. And she's like, oh my god, like what happened? He was like, I don't know, it was a shootout. She's like, a shootout with who? And he was like, this thug. And she was like, Natalie must be a mess. And he's like, yeah, she is. She's like, where is she? He goes, right over there. So she goes over there, and they just have this sisterhood. They hugging us. They both sisters. You know what I'm saying? So even though Esperanza gets on my nerve, she is sister. All right. If y'all don't know, Latinas are sisters too. Just sometimes they don't know it. And some of our black women just be trying to act. That's another video. I'll do another video anyway. So they're hugging, and not to offend anybody. I'm just saying, everybody's cool. So, but it's black. You know what I'm saying? I don't really appreciate how people get mad when you address being black. You know what I'm saying? African. They be looking at you like, why would I not? You know what I'm saying? You got all these other races that, never mind. And like everybody's wonderful. We gonna keep it pushing. We gonna keep it pushing. Okay. So yeah, they hugging. Sisters. You know what I'm saying? They hugging. They sit down. She's like, are you okay? She's like, no. And so this is really when we seen Natalie. I think I want that to happen because I think a lot of fans have been harsh on Natalie since season 1. There's been a lot of people saying, I don't like Natalie. She's over the top, Miss Independent. She's really annoying. She's even effed up to a good man like Lucian, which, okay, but you have to understand, with somebody who acts like Natalie does, you would just have to know this sister has been through some stuff in her life. Like, you would just know. Like, I know somebody, one of my mom's friends actually, I would say resembles Natalie. And she's with men in particular, she's been very wrong. So she has trust issues, much like Natalie does. So tonight was really just, we find out Natalie blamed herself a lot for how Joey grew up, being, she even at one point said, she's like, a woman cannot raise a man by herself. She goes, some of us can, but I couldn't. She goes, heck, I didn't even try. And she's crying. And she's like, I wish I knew what I knew now than what I knew then. She was like, I would never have let Frank and the girls grow up the way I let Joey grow up. I would tell him, if I could go back, I would tell Joey, pull up your pants, put a comb through your head, or stand up straight, talk like you got some sense. She even said at one point, and I was kind of like this because it was true, but sometimes you do need to be running, okay? She was like, I would say, don't run from no cop. You know what I'm saying? If he come up to you, you stop and talk to him like you got some sense, which is true. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. I'm gonna leave it at that. We gonna keep it PG. All right. So Natalie, when she said, I didn't even try, I was like, because we knew Natalie had him very young. So, and a lot of teen mothers in general, actually, they don't really like to admit when they could have done better somewhere with their child. It's just always very well, oh, well, that's just what happened. I don't know how that happened with them. Like, all my other kids turned out fine, which that happens sometimes where, your other kids, they all raised in the same household and something just, that one kid, something just happens. But, she actually said, heck, I didn't even try. I really didn't try to, because I was so young. I wasn't really doing the best that I could as a mother raising a young man in the ghetto. And at one point, Esperanza's like, I know, I get it. She's like, no, honey, you don't. Because this is raising a man in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? She's like, and I wish his father was here right now because it's not right that I have to go through this alone. His father should be here. And that's when Esperanza was like, calm down. I understand. She was like, no, you don't. And she's even saying the hospital's not going to give him the best care. We don't have insurance. They're going to stabilize him and move. She's like, okay, just calm down. Look, at least they're going to stabilize him, right? She's like, once he's stable, that means he's doing better. Sorry, I wasn't trying to do anything. Just, it was getting on my nerve how it looked. Anyway, I'm sorry. So, oh, hey, Diva. I want to say in the middle of the video, Diva is one of my newest subscribers. I spoke to her Monday. Was that yesterday, Diva? Appreciated talking to you. Appreciated talking to you. I can tell you're really down to earth just through messaging. It's one of my things. Hey. And all my other ones, too. Sorry, we'll say that to them. We're gonna say that to. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, so she's talking to Esperanza, and just it's everything. She goes, I know that some mothers could have done it. I couldn't do it, and she goes, it just makes me want to scream. And she actually does end up screaming. She goes, I couldn't do it. And when it really came down to his father should be here right now, I was like, that was deep. Because we hear Natalie say, I don't need a man, I just need, and you don't. But it was really like, wow, to hear Natalie say, I wish his father was here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, wow. That was some character development. So I appreciated that we got more inside the heart of Natalie. I really appreciated that. And Lucian comes back over, and it's because he goes, oh, hey babe, just take this, and it was like the volume or whatever he got from the nurse. And she goes, what is this? And he's like, it's from the nurse, it'll help you calm down. And she's like, no, like, why do I don't want to calm down. She's like, I just want to be mad right now. Can I be mad? And that's why I was like, Lucian, just let her, which I kind of didn't like how they were doing that, because it made it seem like Lucian was going to try and shove the thing down her throat. Like, if she says she ain't going to take it, Natalie ain't going to take it. So I didn't really like how they kept, please, Lucian, just, the Esperanza, please, Lucian, just, please, just, what is he going to do? He's not going to make her take it. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, all right. And she ended up saying, she goes, when I got pregnant, I made my mistakes. That's when she went into things I would never do with the girls and Frank. And she said, if I could turn back, there would be a lot of things that I would change. She goes, I was too busy worrying about guys like Eddie shooting my son when I really should have been worried about these boys in the hood. She was like, I'm tired of our young men shooting each other. I'm tired. Appreciated that. Because we all tired of that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she was like, I'm tired. She's like, I can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with it. And he goes, hey, listen. He's like, you just need to know that I'm here. You understand? I'm here. And then she gets into, he had a gun on him. Like, what if he goes to jail? And she goes, if he pulls through. Esperanza goes, no. When he pulls through. And she's like, no, but we don't even know if he's going to pull through. And if he does, then when he goes to jail. She was like, listen, Natalie, don't worry about that right now. All we need to worry about is that he's going to pull through in this. And because, yeah, Esperanza asked him, because she talks about Quan at one point. And she's like, that Quan boy, the drug dealer, he shot my son. He's dead. Esperanza goes, how was he dead? She goes, Joey, he had a gun. He shot him. She goes, having a gun is a violation of his probation. He's going to go back to jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, dang. And we see next week, but Lucian is about to tell that parole officer, he's about to tell him what's up. He about to tell him what's up because he has the nerve to be like, oh, I'm going to go talk to, because he's trying to get information on Joey from Lucian. And I'm sorry, this is going to run long, you guys. I apologize. And so he's like, well, if you don't want to give me information, I'm going to go talk to Natalie. He's like, you ain't going to go say nothing to Natalie. Like, Lucian is, yeah, like, that's Lucian. I don't give a gosh dang. All the dudes on the show need to be taking those. Freaking Brad, fake ASS Eddie, Ben, Julius, definitely Randall. You know what I'm saying? They all need, Travis. Everybody except Lucian needs to be taking notes. Period. Get rid of all the guys on the show. We just keep Lucian. That's what we do. Every guy on the show either needs to be in a mental institute, jail, or both. Oh, after I get out of the institute, I'm going to jail. That's all they need. That's all they need. Moving on. So she ends up taking the volume. And Lucian is really just calming her. He's like, I'm here, it's going to be okay. And she goes, at one point, can you promise me that he's going to be okay? He's like, what I can promise is that he's as stubborn as you. He's as strong as you. And he was like, what I can promise is that I'm going to be here from you. I'm going to be here with you no matter what it is, no matter what happens. I'm here. And she goes, okay. He goes, okay, just take the pill, babe. Just calling her pet names and stuff like that. And I usually don't like that, but it's black love, so I really appreciate it. I'm not saying I don't like other couples. I'm just saying black love in particular, you know what I'm saying? I really appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? Just, sorry, but I say you know what I'm saying when it's like, you know what I'm saying. You know what never mind. And then Esperanza goes, thank you, because, he's really comforting Natalie. And he goes, for what? She goes, just for being the man that you are. And it was really deep in the sense that I had a guy like you at some point, at least so she thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eddie was somewhat like you, and then the mother effer just became effed up. I always feel bad for Esperanza when she speaks because she hasn't given up on the vision of. She'll say she has. She hasn't given up on the idea of that Eddie that she talked about, because I think now she's over defending him, but somewhere, which I'm fine with, because you always want to have that hope, and when you know somebody for that long, it's complicated, but I appreciated that. And just for her to notice that Lucian was that dude who is doing what every dude should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Not, oh, I don't want to show no love because I'm the most masculine man on the planet. You know what I mean? So I really appreciated that. Sorry, guys. I spent like 10 minutes just on that. I'm sorry. Then we switched to the police station. Now, Eddie is coming out. Wait a minute. Yeah, Eddie's coming out of the locker room, and Ben is like typing on the computer fakely. So Eddie comes over, and he goes, did you find anything on her? He goes, no. He was like, well, did you go on the FBI database? Yeah, well, did you go through the FBI database? He goes, yeah. He goes, and he was like, dang, man, you never do anything I tell you to do. He was like, you know what, Eddie, I look. If you don't like the way I look, then you need to go ahead and look by yourself and just, why don't you go and do it? And then so Eddie did nothing that would have scared me. Like, I would have been over it. He goes, well, what did you just say? And then, of course, Ben got scared and was like, nothing. I just said I looked. He's like, nah, that's not how you said it. He was like, you know, if you've ever talked to me that way again, this, that, and the third. And he grabs his hand and he's like, look at this, look. He goes, I'm looking. He goes, you have one of these left. Do you want the other one? He goes, yeah. He goes, then don't talk to me like that no more. And it went into this whole thing where he told him to go look again. And he's like, no, like, Andrew's here. He goes, okay, and? He was like, he's watching everything. He's like, then get him out of here. He was like, how am I going to get him? He was like, you know what, forget it. And he calls Andrew over and shows him a call that Andrew wasn't even on. Like, it was something that I guess occurred, but they didn't put Andrew on it. But that's how he gets Andrew. He goes, there's a woman saying that there's a man looking through her curtains. It's a 113 or so. I'm over Eddie knowing the codes. Like, does that seem so fake to you? Like, that he knows anything? You know what I'm saying? Just other than caveman speak, are we really believing that Eddie knows anything that requires skill? You know what I'm saying? Are we really believing that? Anyway, so he's like, it's a 113 on highway 43. I'm over it. It was fake. The fact that he knew anything was fake. Anyway, so that gets Andrew up out of here. He goes, okay, I'm on it. And then he goes, don't say you're on it. Say thank you. And I don't know why, but Andrew was like, thanks, Eddie. It was like a sarcastic, but it was still like, why are you... He said, say thank you. And you literally said, thanks, Eddie. Like, I would have been like, bye. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes, at one point, he's like, oh, well, I didn't get that call. And Eddie's like, that's because you don't know what you're doing. Are you sure you're cut out for this job? Like, it was a joke. I'm over Eddie. I got spit all over it because I was just so going in on it. Y'all see them 2 dots there? I'm over it. Anyway. So then he goes, there, I got him out of there. Now go in there and go look. And then so he goes, Eddie, I look. He goes, what did you say? He was like, I'll look again. And he was like, that's what I thought. And he's like, yes, sir, boss Eddie, you know, being obviously sarcastic. So then Eddie grabs him and he's like, what is your problem? And he's like, nothing. And I was like, Ben, you're freaking blowing it. Because remember, Julius told him last week, he said, do not have him suspecting you. If we're going to pull something on this man, he cannot see you coming. So by him having his little outburst of, I'm a man, okay, but it couldn't have possibly came at the worst gosh dang on time. It's display and the strength of it, because obviously he's doing that because, oh, I got Julius who's backing me now, which Julius is going to call him again next week. So he's getting that boost, and Eddie was even looking suspicious. Like when he said, what the heck is wrong with you? He was like, nothing. And Eddie was looking like, I might need to go ahead and watch you. So Ben, see, you're already messing up the plan. Anyway, then we switched to Kelly. Sorry. So I bet y'all are happy y'all are not next to me right now. I say it's allergies, y'all. You be telling me it's a cold. I'm over them too. And you better believe I'm still going to school tomorrow. Anyway, then we switched to Kelly. I ain't got no choice. My mom ain't gonna let me stay home. Uh, you're right. I'm not dying, am I? Then we switch to Kelly. Marcy runs up and is like, oh my God, like, what's happening? You know, the crime scene. So she's like, Marcy. This went kind of long. No problem, though. All the scenes actually went long. They were really good in detail, but like I said, this is already going to run long, so I don't want to prolong it. Marcy runs up and is like, what's going on? What's happening? And she goes, Miss Louise said that Brad came in there, kind of beat her up, beat Randall, took him, and now the baby's missing. Do you think Brad could have done this? And she's like, wait a minute. Did she say it was Brad? She said, Marcy, I heard it was the man next door. She goes, okay, but did she say Brad? She goes, I don't know, Marcy, the officer. She goes, okay, which officer? She goes, it's him. So then she's like, are you sure, Kelly? She's like, if you don't believe me, she's like, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just can't believe any of this right now. So she goes, okay. Calls over Detective Simmons. It's Steven. And he goes, oh, so you're Marcy. And he's basically trying to get up in her grill, like, where were you tonight? And she goes, oh, I was at home. He goes, alone? And then Marcy gets on defense mode. She was like, what's happening here? He goes, I need you to, were you at home alone? And she goes, what are you trying to do? Like, just tell me what's going on. And that's when Kelly steps in. And she's like, she just told you she was at home. He was like, look, all I'm doing is asking questions. As long as she answers me, I answer her. She goes, and she was answering your question. He was like, she didn't say if she was alone or not. She's like, look, can't you see she's upset? And then she goes, look. Marcy steps up and is like, look, what the heck is happening? And she's like, we have reason. He goes, we have reasons to believe that Brad took the baby and, hurt Miss Louise. So again, he's asking her, do you know where he is? Do you know where he is? And so she's stuttering at first because she doesn't want to say anything. She's like, and Kelly's like, come on, Marcy, if you know where he is, then you have to say something. So she goes, yes. He goes, where's he at? She goes, at the apartment. And he goes, at the apartment that you two share. She goes, yeah. He goes, an address. She goes, 38 Seymour Avenue, apartment 4. And he goes, this is the apartment that you share, right? She goes, yeah. He goes, and your name is on the lease? Yeah. And you didn't see him all day? She goes, no, he just came in about an hour ago. He's like, and that's all you saw of him? She goes, yeah. And he calls some people, and he's like, I need you to get over to 38 Seymour, apartment 4. Y'all, I don't know what. I don't think Brad took the baby. But could he have a link to, would he actually work with Alex's father? That is the question at this point, because people are saying, what if Alex's father and him teamed up? I think he has more hatred for Alex's father than he does Randall. And that might be like I don't know about that kind of statement, but I think so. I think he loves Alex. And so even finding out that he raped her was like, wow, like, you are really a sick dude. And just to find out somebody raped somebody, like, you kind of lose respect. Because that's something you were completely aware of what you were doing. It was your decision. It was your choice. So I'm looking at you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stay 2 feet, 20 feet, 50, 100. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm looking at you funny. So, and a child, your child at that. I don't even want to get into that. That's another video too. But, so, I don't know if Brad would actually team up. People are saying that. And then so Steven goes, well, we found some toys in the backyard, but there was no baby in the house. She goes, they don't have a baby. Kelly spoke for Marcy. And he goes, I don't understand. And he goes, but it says, congratulations, Randall. And no, he goes, Alex and Randall. He goes, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Because he shows a picture. And he goes, is this a recent photo of your husband? And it was Randall and Alex. And so she goes, yeah, that's him. And he goes, who's the woman in the picture? And Kelly goes, that's Alex. So then now he gets, like, it's a whole affair thing. And yeah, so that's how that went. Sorry, you guys. And then she goes, do you know if Randall's going to be okay? And he's like, no, but we'll find out. Like, and tried to be smooth. Like, you know how the detective would do? Whatever happens, I'm going to solve this case. And they just walk away. Like, that was, I don't know, ma'am. But we'll find out. I was over it. Over it. Anyway. Then then after he walks away, Kelly goes, oh, Marcy, come on in. And she goes into her house? And she goes, I'm sorry, we could go to mine, but the kids are over here. She goes, I'm not going into that witch's house. And she's like, come on, Marcy, I got the kids over here. And she goes, well, I'm not going in there. She's like, come on. So then they actually end up going in. So then we switch back to the hospital. Now the nurse he's still sitting with Natalie. She's calm now, whatever she took. And he sees that Pete is being like wheeled somewhere. This part was really emotional. And so he's like, excuse me, where's he going? And she goes, I'm sorry, I can't say. And he's like, come on, please. And she goes, listen, just tell your cop buddies that he's fine. He's got FBI detail. He's going to a secure part of the hospital. He goes, oh, okay. And then so Pete is like conscious now because he goes, Lucian? And he's like, hey, man. And he's like, how long has he been conscious? She goes, just today, actually, he started talking. And he goes, how you doing, man? Like, what's up? He's like, I'm good, man. How are you? And then so he doesn't really understand. He's like, why am I in here? And he goes, you don't remember? And he's like, nah. He was like, well, you were shot. He was like, I was shot. He was like, by who? He was like, I was wondering if you were going to be able to tell me. So he's like, man, I don't remember. And then so he goes, you don't remember anything? Like what breakfast you had that morning? And then the nurse tried to rush him. She was like, I'm sorry, we have to go. And then so she's like, okay, listen. He goes, okay, Pete, listen, I'm gonna come see. And like Pete starts crying. He's like, yeah, man, please come see me. I can't even do it because I don't know what I was just wow. Like he started crying. He was like, yeah, man, please come see me. Like he was really crying. And Lucian had to kind of calm him. He was like, oh, it's all right, man. Like you good, oh my God. Lucian is my brother. I'm over it. I can cry if I want. I won't, but I can if I want to. They're trying to tell me it's not appropriate to cry on camera. Who are you? So then he walks back over to Natalie, and she goes, isn't that the guy who gave me the disc? And he goes, yeah. She goes, I'm sorry I lost that. He's like, it's all right. And he's like, but the main thing, she goes, he okay? He's like, yeah, I think he's going to be fine. But the main thing is making sure we get through this with Joey. The main thing is making sure Joey is fine. She's like, yeah, and they end up, kind of hugged up, and then we switch out. Then we switch to Brett at the apartment. He's cleaning up all evidence. The shoes, he's put them in a garbage bag. He's putting the blood in a garbage bag. Alex calls him. He ignores the call. That was a short little snippet, and then we switch over. So, I don't know what's going on with you, Brad, but you looking mighty guilty of whatever it is that you're doing. Then we switch to the crime scene. Eddie shows up. I was over this. He talks to the dude, Ricky, which I guess is one of the head officers. And he goes, any bodies in here? He goes, nah. He was like, but there's he was like, just one woman. And he goes, she a young girl, nice behind? And he goes, nah, she's an older woman. He goes, she talking? He's like, nah, man, not really. And then he goes, all right, man, well, I'll talk to you later. He goes, it's bad in there. He was like, how bad? He's like, bad. He's like, all right, man, well, I'm going to talk to you later, whatever. And he goes in there. And that's the only thing I can say about Eddie. At least he keeps it real. Like, he's a dirtbag from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes into the freaking crime scene. He didn't pretend because we know he hates Randall. And Randall hates him. And Eddie's just, we're over Eddie. He's sick and he needs help. And he's on that narcotic. Like you saying, Ronnie, all the dudes are on the narcotic except Lucian and Pete. So, yeah, he comes and he's like, woo-hoo-hoo. Like, what's going on here? And then so Steven is just like, gloves, Eddie, gloves. He's like, all right, man, I heard you. He goes, Eddie, gloves, because he's still clowning around. So and there was a lot of dialogue with them. And basically it was just a standoff because he's telling him, he was like, you just keep forgetting who your boss is. That's Steven talking to him. And he goes, Steven, look, we both know what you did to get that rank. No, he goes, the only... He said the only rank... No, he's like, okay, you're only my boss when it comes to this job. So let us not try and act like this, that, and the third. So he goes, and we know how you got that position, don't we, Steve? He was like, being on the floor or something like that does wonders. And so he goes, but we all know you wouldn't really do nothing. He was like, I'm just waiting for you to jump, Steven, because you keep pressing me. And then so he goes, anytime, any place. And Eddie goes, I know you keep saying that, but I'm not into guys. Like I told you last week, every guy on the show except Lucian is suspect. Every single guy except Lucian and Pete are suspect. Period. Everybody's on notice. Maybe even some of the women. We don't know. I'm over you, Tyler. Over you. Appreciate you, Tyler. So, and then Steven goes, "Oh, well, that's not what I heard. I heard as long as they're wearing a dress that day and got on the girly underwear, that you doing this, that, and the third." So then Eddie was like, "Oh, I see you got your jokes today." And so they're doing this, that, and the third. He goes, "Why don't you go straight to HW Hockey 6?" He was like, "Why would I need to do that when I'm with you every day and you're the devil?" He was like, "And don't you forget it. You know what I'm saying? That'll keep you in your place," or some bullcrap. So he yanks Eddie up. And he goes, "You need to get up out of here." He goes, "Oh, I'm tap dancing in the evidence now. Tap dancing." Because even at one point when he keeps telling Eddie, stay out of the evidence. He goes, "Oh, like this," and like sweeps his boot and like some of the blood. And then that's when Steven comes over and presses, and they have this whole standoff. And he's like, "Oh, tap dancing to the evidence now," and Steven throws him out of there. Esperanza rolls up. She runs into Eddie. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "Oh, and I think it's so funny how you get to ask me questions and you want me to answer them, yet, oh, you don't answer any of my questions," and this, that, and the third, like they're in a relationship. Like, I really think he's delusional at times, and he is. On that narcotic, Ronnie. I'm chucking it up to that. So, yeah, he goes, "Oh," she goes, "What are you doing here?" And he's just like, "Oh, the primary caregiver, is that what you called yourself? Since you're not looking out for my daughter, I had to come check on her." "Oh, did you?" And he goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, how is she?" He goes, "Oh, she's doing fine." She was like, "You're lying." And then at one point she shades him because then she goes, "Oh, now you want to be a father or something?" And he's like, he didn't respond. And then so they go into their little thing, and then she approaches Steven, and she's like, "Could you get him out of here?" And she goes, "Why is he here?" He goes, "I don't know." She goes, "Well, can you get him out of here?" He goes, "I tried." She goes, "You're his boss. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's wrong with you?" He goes, "Look, as far as I have a lot of work to do. And do you know this family?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Could you ID some pictures for me?" And then she goes, "Yeah." And then something about wipe the smile off your face. And he goes, "Oh, but you made me smile for years, babe." And all this, and oh, you leaving me for him now? And this, that, and the third. I'm over it. Then we switch to Marcy. And she's now they're in Alex's house, so she's throwing stuff. She's like, "This ratchet witch." I'm sorry, I'm tempted not even to upload this video. So this coughing I'm doing, like, it's allergies, I'm telling you. But if not, I'm gonna hunt the person down that gave me this cold, and I'm over it. And always be this time of the year too, I start getting sick. The transition from, never mind, whatever. I'm over it. I'm irritated now. Anyway, you guys didn't even give me my cough medicine. No, because now I look like a freaking coughing hag in front of my viewers. Nobody wants to see somebody on camera cough. You know what? Nah, I'm not even. You already know what's gonna happen. I won't embarrass you. Today. Yeah, you're right. Keep getting smart. I'll do it. That's what I thought. So anyway, she's, yelling and stuff. She's like, "You're the one who wanted me to come in here." She was like, "Yeah, but I don't need you to act like this." And she goes, "You know what, Kelly? See, that's why I didn't want to talk to you after all this." She's like, "Look, Marcy, none of this had anything to do with me." She goes, "I know, but I need somebody to blame." And so she goes, that woman sleeps with my husband. And she's like, "Come on, we don't want the kids to hear." She goes, "I don't care about her kids." She goes, "Well, look, my son is upstairs. So you're going to stop or you're going to leave." That's pretty much what she served Marcy. And Marcy said, "Okay, girl, I get it." So then we switch to Travis. Travis, that's why I tell you, all the men on the show except Lucian, institutes or prison. And Pete, except those two. That's it. I'm not forgetting anyone. That's it. So Travis is calling her nonstop, and I think this is where we see that Travis is bipolar and borderline schizophrenic, because he's calling her witch, And then he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep calling you. And so you pick up the phone. He's like, you inconsiderate witch. And then so he calls back. He's like, I don't know why I left that message. I'm sorry. I need you. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh, you witch. I can't believe you're not returning my calls. What's taking? He was like, you're with him, aren't you? You're with. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe I left that message. You know I love you. Can I come see you in justice? Listen, witch, if you don't pick up. And it was like, oh my gosh. And then we see him like he's rocking back and forth and stuff. And he's like visualizing when they were kissing. And then he's lapsing in and out. Like, it's something wrong with Travis. We knew it already. I can't. So then Marcy's asking her. She goes, "Who is that? Who is that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's nobody. It's nobody. It's nothing important." And so so it's ringing again. She's like, "It's got to be important this late." She goes, "Why don't you just turn off your phone?" She goes, "I can't. It might be Alex." She goes, "Well, she'll get the message." And she goes, "You know what, Marcy? I think you're not like really being genuine about how much you actually care about Randall." And so she goes, man, yeah, you know, I still love him and I can't help it. And then I'm going to cut it short. She tells her that it is possible because it just went back and forth. Do you think Brad did it? Come on, Marcy. I don't know. Do you think? She finally tells her it was some suspicious things like the fact that he said he was at Bandit Mountain, but the mud on his boots was red. And then they say the only red mud that we have around here is in, what is that? Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to say it was Somerville. And yeah, Somerville. And she goes, well, what would he be doing out there? And she goes, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. She goes, okay, Marcy, we got to go. She goes, where are you going? She's like, to the police. She goes, no, what if I'm wrong? She goes, then, well, we ain't going to find out about it. She's like, let's just go. So she forces Marcy to go tell the police what's going on. Then we switch to Alex. She calls Brad, who finally picks up the phone. And then he goes, don't call me unless it concerns the kids. And she's like, the kids are fine. He's like, then don't call me. And she goes, no, Brad, please, I need you. And he goes, I mean it, and hangs up. So she's officially on her own. Like, so as she tries to call him back again, gets the message machine. And so she's like, no, please, I know I made a mistake, but please help me. And there's like a deer in the road, so she swerves and she hits a tree. A big tree. The car is trashed, but we see next week she's fine. But I can't. And then at one point I want to go back and say when she's talking to Kelly, she says, who would want to hurt that little BASTRD talking about the baby. And so Kelly just looks at her like, really? But she tells her, she goes, because Kelly's worried about the baby, and she goes, what about Randall? She goes, oh yeah, him too, like a fake. And she goes, you don't care about him. She goes, yes I do, but I think you care about him more than you're saying. And yeah, so that's how we go with that. So that was the episode, you guys. It ended with Alex in a car crash. And Marcy is over Alex, which we knew. She's telling Kelly, she goes, she had everything, but went to go creep in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even appreciate that. You feel me? I'm over it. Okay. But sorry, you guys, that I was hacking. We ain't gonna do it for this last part of the video on camera. I apologize. Okay. You better believe if I have a cold, I'm gonna find out. And I'm gonna go hunt down the person who gave it to me. And I can't disclose any more information than that. I know. The lawyer representing me says if I disclose, all right, Steve, don't get yourself fired now. I am paying you. Okay. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the new subscribers. I think I'm up to 191. When I looked, you know what I'm saying, I was at 148 the last time I looked, and now it's 191. So I really appreciate everybody. Like I said, I never thought my channel would grow this much. I had wonderful subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the comments, the likes, the dislikes, and the views, of course. Like I said, hey to Miss Diva. And I want to say, sorry, Keith Turner told me last week that Ben is off. He's on the Real World. I've heard that, but I didn't know. But I know if Keith's saying it, it's true. He was on the Real World like some seasons back, And Ben's hand really is like that in real life. So Keith is saying he's eventually going to be able to take off the bandage. We'll see if Tyler's just going to have him rocking the bandage for like life. But yes, Ben was on the real world, and people tell me they go, everybody hated him. Like, he wasn't a nice dude. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to everybody. Can't wait to see you guys in the comments. It's your girl, Jada J. Y'all know the drill. I gotta go to school tomorrow. Peace and good night.